I'm sure that's what Mr. Kit Richards was also saying when he was talking about cost of doing business in Nigeria, duplicity of functions. You meet the customs, you go to another desk, you meet another officer who is also doing the same job as what the custom has just asked you.
Exactly. So we need to see greater efficiency in those things. And of course, we are not yet talking about the issue of corruption in those processes. Even if there's no, even if you are not paying bribes or anything, even the process itself is tedious. And remember, you are competing with other ports on the West African coast. Because, I mean, like I said, why somebody can easily, because our borders are very porous, a lot of our importers bring in their goods through Lomé, through Cotonou, and just drive through.
So they are discouraged to bringing it down here.
Because it's easier to bring the goods through those places.
And they don't seem to mind at the port, because the attitude that they put forward when you need to clear your goods.
In fact, those countries, they are wholly if the Nigerian system is efficient, some of those countries we go broke, because they are really dependent upon business that is generated here. So you sometimes wonder whether we are inefficient, whether we have just been our brother's keepers by keeping our system inefficient so that the others don't. But on a more serious note, the thing is that we need to address this issue of doing business in Nigeria. If you look at the part of the problem is even to incorporate companies. The other day I was reading an advert by the CAC, Corporate Affairs Commission, that they put in a process now whereby within, I think, 48 hours you can get a company registered. Interestingly, I had to call a lawyer yesterday to say, my lawyer yesterday, because there's something that we are doing, and I said, is it true that this is happening? He said, look, I should forget that is minimum is 10 working days. So the reality is that
the minimum.
That's what he told me.
And it looks as if you have to send it where? To Abuja before the
you can do it in Lagos here, but he is based in Abuja, and people, some of us just rather just deal with Abuja than avoid the delays that we could experience there because of issues.
Would automation make a difference?
Sorry?
Would automation make a difference?
You see, the automation does make a difference. But look, have you visited the CAC website? The truth is that, you see, a lot of these things, and that is what makes one wonder. We know the right thing to do. We have the money to do the right thing, but people just have an attitude, and and you just wonder, why is this so difficult to do? So we are in this issue of civil service reforms. It's not just about reducing the head count in the civil service. We need to bring in a lot of efficiency, because part of the problem of doing business in Nigeria is just bureaucracy. It's just unnecessary bureaucracy.
Parliamentary button. Would you say one is being overtly critical if they say that? Is it that government doesn't know how to check? Because if you actually send some, go through this process.
Yes.
Let's see what are the challenges there. What are the impediments? If you go through them, won't they identify these things and then eliminate all of those?
I think part of our challenge in our nation is this. We keep lamenting the issue of impunity. People don't get punished for not doing the right thing, especially in the public service. Okay, imagine the other day, the IG came out to say that there is no law for, we don't have an anti-terrorism law. Of course, even I'm sure any man who reads the papers knows that a law was passed recently, not too long ago. So I said to myself, okay, is it that maybe the legal advisor of the Nigerian police misinformed the IG? And if that is the case, has anybody been punished for that lapse? Has somebody lost his job because he misinformed? Because he made a blunder. Why would the Inspector General police that come and say that kind of thing? And then the Senate has to now do a press conference to correct that impression. And we are talking about fighting terrorism. The point is that when we see lapses in our system, people are not punished for lapses. We've seen even in the presidency where a spokesman will say one thing, the president will come and say another thing, correcting what the spokesman said, and nobody loses his job for that. So that is it. We tolerate inefficiency. We tolerate mediocrity. We must have zero tolerance for some things. There must be a consequence in the private sector. In no company, if you have a staff that is not doing well and is continually correcting your embarrassment, he will be out of a job. But the government system, I don't know, this issue of nepotism, this issue of these are the things that hinder. It's not that we don't know what to do, but people just maybe before you know it is like it's my brother, please let it, and that is what is causing causing us to keep going down.
So at the end of the day, in spite of recommendations or white paper that this summit may produce,
yes,
this could actually throw spanners in the works.
That is the thing. Because we have look, Nigeria, we have brains in this country. Our human capacity, human resources are probably the best in the world. in every sector, in every discipline, you see Nigerians excel. But you just wonder, okay, why can't we replicate what our people are achieving in foreign countries and in foreign multilateral agencies? Because, you know, this so-called Nigerian factor, which I hate to mention, because I just want, I mean, why are we in any way, we're not in any way inferior to anybody, but we have not just decided that, you know, and that's why, you know, to make progress, and it just boils down again to the issue of leadership. John Maxwell will say, everything rises and falls on leadership. If an agency of government is inefficient, let's take for example NAFDAC. When Dora Akunyili was the Director General of NAFDAC, we saw, I mean, people that had never heard of NAFDAC, all of a sudden NAFDAC was in the news. Of course, there was the media hype part of that, but we actually saw her making progress and actually prosecuting people that were importing fake drugs. So we've seen agencies shine. We've seen what Ifweku or Moigu or Cairo did in the Federal Inland Revenue Service, where government revenue by way of taxes went up, you know, by so many percentage points over a short period of time, because the leaders in those agencies took it upon themselves to say, listen, I want to make a difference here. I'm going to be a transformer where I am. But when you have, so at the end of the day, it still boils down to leadership. The agencies we mentioned, customs, the ports authorities, and every other agency of government, the Corporate Affairs Commission, if the leaders in those agencies would say, listen, I am going to make a difference, and I'll be an example of the transformation I want to bring about there, we'll begin to see results. And if then the government itself, the presidency must have zero tolerance for non-performance and not continue to, I mean, people have been, yesterday we saw the House of Reps committee walk out. I mean, during the budget consideration, they walked out the team from SEC. Can you imagine? Is that not an embarrassment? I don't know what is so difficult in changing. These are things that are frustrating. If people are not performing, does the nation have to be held to ransom? And then you cannot consider the budget of SEC because they have been hughes and crab by the removal of the head of that agency.